Welcome back, ladies and gents. On today's show, we look at how the internet undid SSC's 331 mile per hour record. From Shmee to Koenigsegg, we put it all together. I'm Tiffany Stone, and this is Hagerty's Daily Driver. Let's buckle up. On October 19th, hypercar maker SSC North America announced that their Tuatara had gone 331 miles per hour. The internet went crazy. What a car! But then, people started analyzing the video and things didn't quite add up, literally. So some of the biggest YouTubers in the car world pulled out their calculators, opened Google Maps, and crunched the numbers. And the results don't look good for SSC. So here's what happened. On October 26th, Shmee 150 released a video analyzing SSC's record run video. He focused on comparing the distance the car traveled to the amount of time it takes to cover that distance, using the video itself as a stopwatch. As you know, distance over time equals is how we measure speed. Miles per hour, right? While using Google Earth, Shmee pinpointed 3 medians along the section of Highway 160 where the Tuatara did its run. He found the distance between the first median and the second median to be 1.13 miles.
And we have a distance of approximately 1.13 miles. Yes, that could be very slightly out.
All right, there's a lot of numbers here, so pay attention. In SSC's video, the car passes that first median at 192 miles per hour and passes the second median at 307 miles per hour. But Shmee noticed that in SSC's video, the car takes 22.64 seconds to go between those markers. Do the math, and you'll get an average speed of just 179.7 miles per hour. He also plays SSC's video side by side with Koenigsegg's Agera RS run in 2017, and that car topped out at 284 miles per hour, which is less than SSC's alleged 331 or even SSC's two-way average speed of 316, right? But when Shmee plays the videos of those runs side by side, starting at median number 2, the Agera beats the SSC to median number 3.
This is in real time from both videos. No dodgy syncing, no running of one faster than the other.
In that section, the Tuatara's graphic is indicating speeds way beyond the Agera, and yet the Agera passes median 3 first. As he said, how could the slower car beat the faster car? But Shmee wasn't the only detective on the case. On October 27th, Misha and Robert of Apex Taxi were puzzled as well. Like Shmee, they compared the distance traveled to the elapsed time on the video and concluded that the actual top speed of the car is about 25% less than what SSC's GPS said. Robert also used online speed calculator, entering things like SSC's tire size and gear ratios, and found that the top speed possible in 6th gear is just 247 miles per hour.
Now, we have a top speed by our calculations of RPM versus the drive of 247 miles an hour.
In SSC's video, they reached top speed in 6th gear, but how could SSC be off 25%? Well, Robert thinks the GPS was reading incorrectly, a theory that is backed up by this man. That's Julian Thomas. He is the founder and CEO of RaceLogic. RaceLogic builds GPS data logging systems for cars. Ever heard of V-Box? They build that. Their products are used by OEMs, magazines, and race teams. The V-Box records your car's indicated speed, RPMs, and GPS location, all matched to a forward-facing video. If there's someone qualified to analyze the data logging side of this fiasco, it's Julian, and he found several issues with SSC's data. First, he noticed that the video was out of sync with the data overlay. And although it was only off by a few frames in the beginning, it got progressively worse. Second, when Julian multiplied the speed displayed by SSC times the amount of time in the run, he found that the car would have traveled much further than it actually did. If the car was going as fast as it says it was, for as long as it did, those all-important medians would have to be further apart than they really are. Now, when Julian measured the time between medians against their distance, like Shmee did, he got a top speed of just 224 miles per hour. Yikes, but that's not all. He also thinks there's a problem with SSC's data logging system itself. It was built by Tuatara, a company that Julian respects and has worked with. But he thinks that the data was being processed through another company's software, noting the graphic has SSC branding on it. After analyzing SSC's data, video length, shift points, and measuring it all against the actual distances, he believes their software was multiplying the speed by 1.48. There's far more information in each of those videos than I can cover here, so if you want to see their methods and details, please go watch them. Now, for SSC, this was the longest and worst week they could ever imagine. First, they said that the video team used the wrong video and that the internet should look at the GPS data from Tuatara. But it was soon clear that, that wouldn't be enough. But on October 30th, Jerod Shelby, the CEO of SSC, released a video statement.
We have to rerun the record. We have to do this again and do it in a way that it's undeniable and irrefutable. So the next time we do this, which is we're going to prepare to do it in the very near future, we need to make sure we have multiple GPS companies' equipment in the car. I want to make sure that we have their staff on site looking over our shoulders and analyzing every run.
We don't know when this will happen, but if SSC wanted people to sit up and pay attention to them, they sure got their wish, for better or for worse. It's time for Hagerty's Rumor Roundup, where we bring you the juiciest, unconfirmed news from the automotive world. This week, Ford might be putting a 6.8-liter engine in the 2022 Mustang and F-150. As Hagerty reported, this rumor stems from a press conference held in September by Unifor, the largest private union in Canada. After agreeing to a new 3-year contract with Ford, Union President Jerry Diaz allegedly said that Ford had committed to building a new 6.8-liter engine at the plant in Windsor. While we can't find record of that quote, Unifor's press release does say, quote, Ford has committed to source new 6.X-liter engines to the Windsor engine plant. The 6.8 would probably be a de-stroked version of Ford's enormous 7.3-liter V8 Super Duty engine. That engine has an iron block, but if it's going to be in a Mustang, Ford will probably change it to aluminum. A new 6.8 would be bigger in displacement, but also might be smaller in size. See, that 7.3 is an overhead valve engine with a cam in the block, just like the LS. The Mustang's current 5-liter, the Coyote, is an overhead cam engine. Powerful? Yes, but it's also about 6 inches wider from valve cover to valve cover than the LS, according to Engine Labs. Bringing the cams into the block should make the whole package narrower, making it easier to swap into your project car. With Dodge and Chevy both offering more displacement, 2022 might be the year the Mustang joins the big block club. Well, that's it for me, but I'll be back tomorrow with more car news. Until then, keep driving.